Also new tonight, we've seen a rise in financial scams, both nationally and locally. And recently, a Clinton County woman was put through a terrifying ordeal that all turned out to be a very cruel scam. Now she's bravely sharing her story in the hopes that it helps someone else. So we have Stacey Hill joining us right now here on The Current. Stacey, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, walk me back through what happened. Were you at work when you get a phone call?
I was at work. I got a phone call. It came across as a sheriff. And so I answered the phone call.
Like the actual ID said sheriff?
He had to leave a little message for me before I answered, and it said sheriff so-and-so. And so I picked it up because I thought, okay, what's going on? Is something happening? Somebody hurt? So.
And then what happened when you got on the phone with him?
Basically, they were telling me that I missed a federal jury duty, that I was in contempt of court. I went through and said I didn't sign anything, I didn't receive anything in the mail. They continued to ask if I was Stacey, my address, my phone number, if anybody else could have signed for it. I told them I get people's mail all the time, maybe somebody else signed for it, not looking at it. And he told me that basically I had two court cases open, that I missed court. Then he said I had a gag order with him talking to me and asked if I would be compliant with it. And I said yes. I said, what's going on? He said, well, this is what I need you to do. He goes, with your fines, everything, I took case numbers down. I had names, badge numbers, everything. He told me that I could not hang up the phone. I could not tell anybody what was going on, that everything would be frozen after I went to my bank and withdraw some money to pay for these fines until I could go into the police station and have a signature analyzed to see if it was mine or if it wasn't. And after that, they would be able to refund me the money after determining it was not me that signed.
And especially I'm thinking when people are throwing around things like contempt of court and gag orders, a lot of us don't understand, the legality behind a lot of these things when they throw around, I should say, big words. I mean, it's easy to get lost in that.
It is. It puts this fear in you, and I think that was the number one thing. I couldn't hang up the phone. I had to tell my odometer. I had to tell him my ETA to the bank. But there was some type of security because he was like, hey, I don't want you to tell me your bank information, but this is what I need you to do is go into the bank, keep the phone on so I can hear that you're cooperating, helping out, doing what you need to do. So I go into the bank. They told me, percentage-wise, what I needed to withdraw, and if I couldn't withdraw all of it, then I would need to have a bondsman to pay the rest. And so I went in, withdrew the money that he asked, and then after that, they gave me the legal paperwork they sent me that I had to read out loud to them, explaining everything, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So once I did that, I had to tell my ETA to go back to my hometown, and they persisted on, this is what you have to do next. You have to go to this kiosk. You have to deposit this money. And so I'm about in town, and there's a police officer behind me. And I say on the phone, I'm like, hey, there's an officer right behind me. And he goes, yeah, that's my officer making sure you're compliant. He goes, what I need you to do is pull over. You're gonna have a phone call coming in. I want you to answer that phone call. So I answer the phone call, and it was another sheriff, and he was like, I want you to Google the Clinton County Sheriff's Office. Make sure my number matches what that shows online. He goes, this is just for security, so you know what's going on. So I did it, everything matched, everything up, and then they continued to tell me, okay, now you have to go into the store, into the kiosk, and everything that you read before is explaining why you have to do what you do. So I go in, and I realize it's a Bitcoin machine. And I ask him, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. And he goes, no, that's how we do it. Like, everything's in the system for us to do it that way. We put you in a public place where there's cameras so you feel secure. We can make sure nothing happens to you. So I'm at the kiosk, and I'm putting money in. It will only take a certain amount. I guess in Iowa, you only can do a certain amount a day. And then a worker comes up to me, and obviously I'm in tears. I don't know what's going on. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, kind of shaking my head because I have this gag order. I can't say anything. And he's like, "You need to stop." And he goes, "It's a scam. Don't do it." The guy on the phone was like, "I hear somebody like jeopardizing what's going on. You're in contempt. You know, like you're not following the rules, what we set for you. What we need you to do is leave the store, stay on the phone with us, tell us when you get back to the car. And I'm giving you a new address that you can go to finish submitting what your fine is." So I go out to the car, I start putting in a new address, and then he goes, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "At this point, can you send an officer to come talk to me?" He goes, "I can, but that's saying you're non-compliant and you will be arrested." And I was like, "But this doesn't make sense. Why are you sending me somewhere else? Why can't I just go to the police station? You know, well, you're not allowed on the grounds until this happens." And that's when I decided, okay, I'm gonna hang up and try to call the police station. And before he told me everything's gonna be frozen. And so I'm like, I hang up, no phone calls will go out. I tried the police station 3 times, it wouldn't even ring out, so I decided, I'm just gonna drive down. If I'm gonna be arrested, I'm gonna be arrested somewhere that I feel safe. So I drive down to the police station and I walk through the door, and the metal detector guy is standing there, and I'm bawling at this point, you know. And he goes like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I shake my head no, and basically I just say, "Open my phone, everything's there." And he opens the phone and sees it. He's like, "You're gonna be fine." He goes, "I'm gonna get you with Randy. He does all of the scam, you know, I wouldn't say projects, but is involved with all of that." So Randy comes and talks to me. He takes me upstairs. We file a police report. We get a hold of Bitcoin and submit, you know, that, hey, this was a scam, and we'll try to see if I get money back. If not, you know, my main thing is just making sure nobody else has this happen to them.
So did you end up getting your money back?
Not as of yet. They had to see the police report, make sure everything's legit, and I think they're just running their courses.
Is there any lessons that you can think about now in hindsight that, looking back, you wish you would have thought about or known?
I wish I would have just taken the time to think clearly. I think when you're in that position, your mind's just scattered. You want to do the right thing. You just want to take care of what is a mistake. But looking back at it, like, I knew when I went to the bank, I tried to go through the drive-thru. It wouldn't let me because I couldn't withdraw that much money. So I remember backing into a parking spot, so when I was facing the bank, they could see my face, just in case, because I already felt something wasn't right. On the way to the Bitcoin machine, there was a lot of, I'm by myself. If they know my address, they know my phone number, they know what I'm driving, like, what's to say somebody's not gonna pull me over and something more happen, you know? So I think if I could say anything to anybody is trust your first instinct, you know, slow everything down in your brain and think reality.
And when it comes to scams, it is so easy to think, that will never happen to me. I will be able to tell in the moment. But in the moment, it can be really scary.
Absolutely. I mean, I was terrified of the possibilities. And I think everybody should be very cautious, especially when someone tells you to take out a lump sum of money and you're by yourself not knowing what's gonna happen next.
Well, Stacey, I know that was a lot to go through. How are you doing now?
I'm good. I just wanna make sure these people that are doing the scams, I think I've had 3 more scams since that's
Wow.
come across my phone. It's not slowing down, but people just need to be able to hear these stories to protect themselves.
Essentially, when there's ever anything with urgency like that, you have to answer right now. You need to get on the phone. You need to pay this right now. It's always good to take a step back
Absolutely.
and just look at things twice. Stacey, I'm so glad you're okay.
Thank you.
And that you're sharing this, because this is something that happens all the time, and there's a lot of stigma and shame around this when it's not your fault at all. So thank you so much for
I
coming in
appreciate
today.
you having me.
And for you guys at home, if you want to share this story, our online version is up at WQAD.com underneath the As Seen on TV tab at the top of the homepage.